Tonight, tragedy in Vaughan.
This is very, very hard.
A 4-year-old boy and his 10-year-old sister have now both succumbed to their injuries after being struck by a vehicle. The teenage driver now facing upgraded charges. Plus, the situation in the Middle East continuing to reverberate through the GTA. We'll have details on a violent clash at a downtown Toronto rally. And
I like camp because I like doing crafts.
many parents breathing a sigh of relief after the Premier said all camps will be allowed to go ahead this summer. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. We begin with a tragic development. The 10-year-old girl struck by a vehicle in Vaughan yesterday has died. Her 4-year-old brother had succumbed to his injuries earlier today. Both were struck while playing on their family's driveway. The 16-year-old boy behind the wheel now facing upgraded charges. Our Natalie Collada has more.
A family's grief, a community shattered.
They are playing together with his dad. They are playing in the front of the door, like normal child. We are crying since yesterday.
We've seen them many times on our walks, and they're a beautiful young family, lovely couple, beautiful children. They're always outside, tending their flowers and playing with their kids. Yeah.
What's this like to happen here in the neighborhood?
It's awful.
A 4-year-old boy and his 10-year-old sister playing in the middle of their driveway Sunday afternoon when tragedy struck.
The kids were out playing with their bikes. Neighbors were out, doing yard work and things. And one of the neighbors saw the kids with a bike chain issue and came over to assist. They were on their own property, and that's when the vehicle went off the road and collided with them.
Security video obtained by CBC shows a black car rounding the corner. In another, you can hear what appears to be the driver accelerating before slamming on the brakes.
We're devastated.
Brent and Elizabeth Lincoln live next door.
This last week, he was talking to my wife about pancakes, and his mommy's the best cook, and she makes all kinds of these pancakes. And then, I guess yesterday before it happened, I was mowing the lawn here about an hour before it happened, and then I was in the back, and I was passing by the fence, and I noticed the girl that got hit, she had a brand new puppy.
We heard it inside the house. We heard the screeching, bang, 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 bang.
He got out of the car, and then he saw me, and he said, can you watch my car for me? I want to go down to my girlfriend's house. And I said, no, you can't go down to your girlfriend's house. You have to stay here. This is a bad accident. You have to be here. The police are coming. We called 911. And then he said, well, my brakes failed.
The 16-year-old driver now faces multiple charges, including dangerous operation of a motor vehicle causing death and criminal negligence causing death. Today, the officers first on scene returned.
All 4 of us were involved, and we just thought we'd just take an extra step and just show our respects to the family during this tragic time.
I know the family's grieving, right? I mean, I went home, I thought about it, and can't imagine what they're going through. It's a tough time, and it's not something that's going to go away easily.
Now, the neighbor who was also struck in this driveway behind me here is expected to survive. He is still in hospital. Natalie Collada, CBC News, Vaughan.
Turning now to Ontario's vaccine rollout, every adult in the province will be eligible to book a COVID-19 vaccination appointment starting tomorrow. And that is a week ahead of schedule thanks to an increase in vaccine supply. Our Queen's Park reporter Mike Crawley has more.
Their hunt for a COVID vaccine appointment meets with success today.
With more people getting vaccinated, I think it's going to help ending this pandemic, hopefully.
And starting tomorrow, even more people will be able to make bookings. Ontario throws it open to young adults, everyone born in 2003 or earlier.
I think it's great that finally anyone 18 and over will be able to get it.
We're really happy. I'm relieved because I can finally, not worry as much about getting infected with the virus and protect my family and friends.
I think a lot of people my age will be getting it. This is something they've definitely looked forward to.
Next week's shipment of the Pfizer vaccine is coming to Ontario earlier than planned. That means the province is getting 2 million doses this week. So Ontario could hit its vaccination targets ahead of schedule.
So we're optimistic that we can keep pushing our vaccination rates up, hoping to get at least to 65% by the end of the month, even higher perhaps.
And that has the government hinting that outdoor sports facilities could open sooner than expected.
Golf, tennis, other things may be available as of June 2nd or perhaps before, depending on the clinical evidence that we receive, what's happening with our hospitalizations and our intensive care numbers.
Those numbers are still stubbornly high in Ontario, especially the caseload in the ICUs. Plus, demand for vaccinations keeps outstripping supply. In Toronto, nearly every available slot at city-run clinics is already booked for the next few weeks.
We are working now with the province to secure additional vaccine supply so that we can open up more appointments to meet the increased demand in the coming weeks.
This vaccination drive in Thorncliffe Park broke a Canadian record for a single clinic, giving 10,000 shots on Sunday.
It was almost like we could clearly see the light at the end of a dark road, and I think it was really important for people to feel that positive energy.
Across Ontario, nearly 1/3 of people under age 40 have had a shot, and in the oldest age groups, first dose coverage exceeds 90%. More than 6.7 million Ontarians have now had a shot. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Toronto.
With more people getting vaccinated, the province says it is looking at opening up camps this summer, including overnight ones. Reassuring news for many parents and kids. Our Dahlia Ashry has reaction and what one infectious disease expert thinks about the plan.
About the summer camps?
A day after Premier Ford said camps will go ahead this summer, Toronto Mayor John Tory also addressed the hot topic.
The city would typically begin offering camps on July the 5th. So once we have clarity from the province and health officials, we will move forward with our objective.
It's something many kids are looking forward to, especially after being cooped up indoors for much of the year.
I like being outside. I like exercise. I like camp because I like doing crafts.
Parents also breathing a sigh of relief.
We're trying to work while having them virtual schooling at home, and it's just really nice that they kind of get to maintain some normalcy by going to camp during the summertime.
To have them out, and so we're not having to entertain them at home all day.
Bridget Gallegos is the owner of a summer day camp in Toronto.
We did it once and we can do it again.
Last year's COVID-19 guidelines included mandatory masks and capacity limits. Gallegos says hundreds of campers have already signed up, already exceeding last year's numbers. She's hopeful and confident this summer will be an even safer one.
Most of our camp staff is already getting vaccinated as well, and I feel at the end of June we'll be in a much better position than last year. And then of course we'll do the daily health screening, same as we did last year as well, with all staff campers as well.
Dr. Anna Banerjee, an infectious disease expert, says day camps are safe, but overnight camps will need more preparation to ensure kids are protected.
Kids of different families sleeping in the same space and sharing that air, then and if they're, especially if they're not vaccinated, then very quickly something could spread. If you have the bunks spaced out, even if you have tents, where kids sleep in their own tents, that might work.
Health Minister Christine Elliott said today the province is looking at reopening both day camps and overnight camps.
It's a question of what the clinical data tells us and when it will be safe to reopen them.
She says the province will announce more details before the end of the provincial shutdown on June 2nd. Dahlia Ashry, CBC News, Toronto.
The federal government has named a replacement for Major General Danny Fortin as head of Canada's vaccine rollout. Brigadier General Krista Brody will assume that role. She is a 30-year veteran of the military and has extensive logistics experience. Brody had been working with Fortin for more than 6 months. Fortin stepped down on Friday due to a military investigation. Sources tell CBC News that he is facing a sexual misconduct claim, but would not elaborate. Fortin denies any wrongdoing. Okay, we're joined by Colette Kennedy now with a first look at the forecast. And Colette, a gorgeous Monday following a beautiful weekend. No complaints here.
Thanks, Kelda. I mean, hard to beat a Monday like this, right? Well, maybe we will be able to beat that. Looking at Tuesday and Wednesday, just an incredible week of weather that is ahead of us. Incredible weather, beautiful conditions, temperatures getting even warmer, and humidity is going to be building as well. So lots of things to talk about for now. Let's just look at the short-term forecast, and we could talk about clear skies for tonight, a light northwesterly flow, the winds change around, more southerly flow tomorrow. So close to the lakeshore, yes, there's going to be a lot of sunshine, but with that southerly flow, the lake's still a little bit cooler. It does keep the numbers down in terms of those daytime highs a bit, but you get away from the water, and boy, then you start to notice the heat. UV index very high at 8, so you don't just need the sunglasses, you need that sunscreen or a big brimmed hat as well. So no precipitation to deal with here, a few clouds into the afternoon, very few, 12 tonight for the low, the high tomorrow 26 degrees. As for it getting even warmer, I'll talk about that and the holiday weekend. We'll take a peek when I come back.
Thanks, Colette. One man is dead and 3 others remain in hospital tonight following yesterday's shooting in the Eglinton and Barton Grove area. There are still signs of the terrifying scene that played out here a day ago. Just after 2 p.m. yesterday, families were outside the apartment complex enjoying the warm weather when chaos broke out. Investigators say suspects pulled up in a dark-colored sedan and opened fire on the people inside 2 parked vehicles. As many as 100 shots were reportedly fired. A 28-year-old man inside one of the cars was shot and killed. He has been identified as Odell Leslie of Mississauga. Another victim was listed in life-threatening condition. The 2 other men who were shot are expected to survive. Toronto police have released an image of the vehicle the suspects were in. It's believed to be a black 3-door sedan, possibly a 2014 to 2018 Audi A6. They are asking anyone with information to call them. Toronto police responded to a large party at Cherry Beach yesterday. This video posted on social media shows hundreds of people gathering on the beach. The people in attendance claim the gathering was an anti-lockdown protest. 3 people were charged.
Wow, everything changed. I want you all to know.
Toronto police are also looking into video of a violent clash that took place during this weekend's protest in support of Palestinians. Now, the footage, which some viewers may find disturbing, appears to show demonstrators clashing and beating each other with weapons. But as our Nick Waver reports, experts say an extremist group was largely responsible for marring what were mostly peaceful protests.
With thousands of people chanting, waving flags, and singing, this weekend's pro-Palestine rally is remembered fondly by most who attended.
Things were definitely high emotion. Like, I hadn't even been there for 10 minutes and I already felt so overwhelmed with emotion. I could have cried right then and there.
But a little farther from the big crowd, the scene devolved into a small but violent skirmish. Video that first emerged from Saturday's demonstration appeared to show an older man getting beaten by Palestinian supporters, prompting stern rebukes from elected officials who condemned anti-Semitic violence. This expert in hate group says that doesn't quite capture things.
The people who came to counter-demonstrate it appear to be led by the Jewish Defense League, which is an anti-Arab hate group.
Video that emerged later on appeared to show the man flanked by people associated with the Jewish Defense League, which is widely identified as a hate group in the US, but not here in Canada. Anti-hate experts say the JDL helped create a false narrative of rampant anti-Semitic violence.
Quite simply put, I mean, media, the Jewish advocacy organizations, politicians, they all basically bought into a far-right lie about what happened at that demonstration.
And with the conflict overseas only intensifying, people with ties to both sides are hoping for calm if and when more local rallies take place.
It's okay for us to feel the way we feel. It's okay for us to passionately argue. It's okay for us to have debates. It's not okay for us to engage in violence against each other.
This weekend suggests that won't be easy, but staying apart might at least help.
It's just too much of a tinderbox for one to cross over into another's demonstration and rally.
Toronto police say they're gathering more evidence and investigating the incident. Nick Boisvert, CBC News, Toronto.
A new round of airstrikes hit the Gaza Strip today as fighting between Israel and militant Palestinians rolled into a second week. Israel says it killed a top militant leader involved in launching thousands of rockets into Israel in recent days. Israel's military says it has been targeting buildings and tunnels used by militants, but calls for a ceasefire are intensifying as the ongoing fighting continues to claim civilian lives on the two sides. Gaza health officials say more than 200 Palestinians have been killed, with some 1,300 others wounded. And in Israel, at least 10 people have been killed in rocket attacks in the last 7 days. Months after police unveiled a massive bust at an alleged illegal casino, charges have been withdrawn against a central figure in the case. We'll tell you why after the break. It's a bus that's now gone bust. Months after York Region Police raided an alleged illegal casino being run out of a sprawling Markham mansion, the investigation has fallen apart. Charges against the owner of the mansion have been withdrawn after his lawyer accused police of stealing from her client and planting evidence. Our Angelina King reports.
We arrested 29 people Last September, York Regional Police hosted a press conference outside the mansion they raided 2 months prior. They also released this dramatic video showing the night of the search, arrests, and much of what they seized, including 11 guns, gaming machines, and millions of dollars in cash and alcohol. But now, charges against the mansion's owner, Weiwei, were withdrawn, and an internal police investigation is underway after Wei's lawyer accused officers of stealing 2 of her client's watches from his nightstand, worth nearly $500,000, and planting a gun holster in his bedroom. We uncovered troubling evidence pointing to instances of serious police misconduct, including conduct that, if proven, would amount to criminal offenses, lawyer Danielle Robitaille wrote. The allegations are based on photos and videos of the police search. Robitaille says Crown prosecutors told York's police chief of the allegations in March, and an internal investigation was launched. But Wei's lawyer has concerns with that, filing a formal complaint asking the Office of the Independent Police Review Director to take over, saying, given the way YPR made a significant public spectacle of the results of their investigation into Project Endgame and their continued communication with media while the charges were outstanding, we have grave concerns that the internal investigation into this troubling misconduct will fail to adequately probe the case. York police say their investigation is thorough.
We have dismantled.
This is the second time a big case collapsed for York police. In January, most charges were stayed in Project Sindicato, one of Ontario's largest investigations into organized crime, after police were accused of illegally intercepting phone calls between the accused and their lawyers. In Project Endgame, more than 70 charges were laid against a total of 33 people, some of which still remain, including against the man police say was the primary focus of their investigation. While Wei's charges have been withdrawn, he's agreed to enter into a 2-year peace bond and is not allowed in any illegal casinos. His mansion is now on the market for nearly $10 million, but he's agreed to forfeit his share of the sale. York police say overall they're content with the outcome. Angelina King, CBC News, Toronto.
You're looking at a live shot of the Toronto skyline. A few cloudy periods this evening, but becoming clear overnight. And temperatures above seasonal, currently 17 degrees downtown. Let's go back to Colette now with a look at your extended forecast. And Colette, temperatures getting even warmer as the week goes on.
Thanks, Kelda. Oh my goodness, you know what? We are looking at just incredible weather for this week ahead. I know we're just coming off of a weekend, but we'll start to take a little peek at the holiday weekend coming up as well. But first of all, just dealing with what's happening in the short term, like overnight tonight. We're looking at double digits for our overnight lows. So last night we dropped to 9.2. Well, milder for tonight. We're going to see that trending. We're going to be into the mid-teens for even upper teens by the end of the week for our overnight lows, it's looking like, especially for southwestern Ontario. The humidity is going to be rising as we get towards the end of the week, though, so it becomes stickier as the temperatures will also be rising. And better chance towards the end of the week of getting into some late day showers. And with some of that humidity, we get a little more buoyant, the air mass. So Saturday, even next Sunday, when a cold front comes through, that could provide a little bit of lift. But other than that, it's very dry through the next few days here. So daytime highs today. Ottawa at 25 degrees, 24 for Windsor. And then you can see in between lots of 22s and 23s showing up on the thermometers. Clear conditions tonight, sunshine tomorrow. A few clouds build into the afternoon. Southwestern Ontario, you could pick up a little bit of that high level cloud, a little bit of cirrus that's going to be moving in into the afternoon, but staying dry. Then we're going to see the system coming in, bringing more cloud cover in towards as we get towards Thursday, but most of the moisture associated with this is pulling northward. So really we just kind of see some changes in the amount of cloud that we have. Tonight's temperatures for southwestern Ontario, one single digit out there in London. That's for you at 9 degrees. Tomorrow, picking that temperature up. This may be overplaying some of that cloud cover into the afternoon, this particular model, so there will be plenty of sun shining through. You have to worry about your UV index with it being very high right across southern and eastern Ontario. Overnight tonight, there are your readings here around the Golden Horseshoe. St. Catharines not into double digits with 8. 26 to 27 degrees, 25 for Oshawa, but get away from the lake and it'll be milder than that. And talking about those temperatures building close to 30 degrees by the end of the week with the humidity, we'll be talking about humidex values We'll leave that for a few days, but it's coming, Kelda.
Wow, thanks, Colette.
This weather update is brought to you by Train. For a limited time, take advantage of 36 equal payments and 0% financing. It's hard to stop a train.
And as we head to break, we want to give a big shout out to our very own Dwight Drummond, who won Best Local News Anchor at the Canadian Screen Awards tonight. Congratulations, Dwight. It is much deserved. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The Tampa Bay Raptors season has officially come to an end, and head coach Nick Nurse says although it was a disappointing season, he doesn't fully blame the team.
We were playing pretty good basketball until the COVID hit, and we kind of spun out of control from there and never really recovered.
Nurse adds he's very hopeful the team will start the next season in Toronto, but things are still up in the air. And once the team does come back home, it might look a little different. Kyle Lowry is now an unrestricted free agent. There have been talks that he may or may not return to the Raptors. Now, also in question, who will be Toronto's president next season? Masai Ujiri still hasn't signed a deal with MLSE and hasn't confirmed whether he will stay with the franchise. The Toronto Raptors finished the season with a 27-45 record and 12th in the Eastern Conference. hey, at least we've still got the Leafs. And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Dwight Drummond has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6, and I will see you back here tomorrow night at 11. Have a great night, everyone.